You know what that means? Inside Star Citizen, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I haven't watched it yet. I just saw it was called Player Experience, so I can't wait for it because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of exciting things that they talk about. I'm sure, just like all of you, I'm waiting for 3.17. There's a lot of cool gameplay that's going to be coming out in that, and I just hope it's soon. Supposedly, it's going to be within a week in the PTU. I don't know. Obviously, it's all speculation. Maybe it's not. Maybe they've announced it. I just haven't noticed it, to be completely honest with you. But supposedly that's what it is. But yeah, I'm excited to try it out. I am going to be going on vacation in April, so hopefully it comes out before April, because I will be very sad. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, as always, let's jump into this with Mr. Pause King himself, and let's watch this together and see what it's all about. No, I won't put my headset on. I think we'll be okay. Player experience. So this says winter 2022. So this is, this isn't going to be coming up in 3.17, but fingers crossed. What do we want fixed? In a player experience, what do I think player experience is? I think it's just quality of life, right? No more dying easily. We can hope. Maybe they fix the star map or something so it's easier to use. It's probably going to be none of those, but anyway, let's watch it.
Hey y'all, Space Dad here.
Space Dad.
Processing your feedback while in the middle of development is a monumental task. It's no secret that the Star Citizen community has no shortage of opinions, and your tireless efforts in testing the persistent universe at all levels, from EVGA to...
Just listening to him say that. Are they referring to what happened recently with taking away so we can't see everything that's going on? Obviously, he's addressing the fact that, basically is addressing that, right? Saying that giving updates during development is difficult and that the players have strong opinions. But anyway.
The PTU to even our live alpha environment requires multiple initiatives to ensure that valuable feedback is properly received. Whether that's the developers themselves spending their time in Spectrum, Reddit, Twitch, and YouTube, to our growing community team and the likes of Ulf, Jake, Tamara, Christian, and more. Whew. As part of our continuing efforts to shine a proverbial spotlight on those folks who don't often get seen or heard from in traditional game dev spaces, we're changing up our origin story format this week to take a look at an entire team who outside of EVGA, folks may not even know exists, whose efforts, much like those that we've just mentioned, is dedicated to collecting, processing, interpreting, and especially testing that feedback before passing it along to our developers for any potential action. So allow us to formally introduce you to the Player Experience team.
In Player Experience, we're basically...
It's not what I thought this video was going to be about, but I'm excited to get to know these guys, right? Okay.
One of the many voices of the players.
The reason why a Player Experience team matters
the most, because not compared to other teams.
Player Experience actually takes the feedback from the community, actually understands the bugs that the live environment is facing,
and we'll use those to make the game better.
Yeah, I think this is completely off topic. Well, maybe not. A lot of really cool things that happen in video games sometimes happen by mistake, right? I can't think of an example right now, but I know there's a lot of things that the development team didn't necessarily plan for them. They didn't necessarily think it was going to be a thing, but then they put it in front of the community, and something develops by the way, the community does things or works, and ends up creating something really cool that no one ever thought about. The best example I can think of in nature... What am I even talking about here? So, this is an example. It's got nothing to do with video games, but, right, so there's some, college campuses, right? And a lot of college campuses are big green grass areas in the middle. It looks good, it's nice, there's places for people to picnic or whatever. But there's always tracts of dead grass, right? where people walk from one side to the other, and it's never like always straight lines. There's like curves. It looks like a road system. And a lot of universities, after they see that, they create paths, like they literally concrete paths in the exact layout of where people walk. And I feel like that's weirdly similar to some types of game development where they see the way the community does things and they can adjust, you know, their development to suit those needs. So I think that's what this team does. They see the themes and the ways people do things and give that feedback to the devs. And yeah, I may be completely off, but you know, we're only a minute into this, so I don't know.
A day in the life of player experience team is
All over the place, actually.
Sorry, I have to laugh.
We almost don't know exactly what we're going to be doing that day.
We're kind of like the late crew here,
We start our day at 2 p.m.
to be able to play alongside players when these builds go out.
Beyond there, our day can exist from reviewing features that are upcoming.
we go to the issue council, we check to see what bugs have been reported in the latest builds.
One of our main objectives is taking those issues through the issue council and seeing if we can produce it in game.
Sometimes we get what are called QATRs, QA test requests from devs.
We report on those bugs, we tell developers here's what our findings were and how we got to the bugs, and here's what didn't work and
sure
what
they
did
have so
work,
much
and try
fun.
all types of weird and interesting ways of breaking the game.
We're the gap between the players and the developers.
Working alongside the community team to make sure that your feedback gets heard.
There's traditional QA and we have the live QA from the player experience team. Traditional QA takes care of upstream features as they're getting developed, while player experience actually
Attack things from a player experience point of view, going through the motions that a player would go through.
It's funny how they're like cut editing it like that, you know what I mean? Like I've never seen that in something like this before. Cause it's cool editing. But are they saying the exact same? They've done it a lot in this video, and I've never seen them do that type of cut editing where it almost sounds like they're saying the same thing, but then they just cut to another person. It just flows really easily. But are they saying the same thing though? They can't both be saying the exact same thing, right? Because it's not scripted. They've done it a lot in this video though. Sorry, I notice it, right? It's weird. I don't know. I think it's just the editors like, oh, this will be cool.
To try to target the issues in a way that Dev QA probably wouldn't be able to reproduce.
Some of us take a look in the specializations of the game. You know, like I go into specialization of medical gameplay, so I could see the ins and outs.
I focus a lot of my time on mining and trading issues. Other
Hey, what's this fella's name? Peter Brewer! Here he is. The man who focuses on mining and trading issues. I'm just kidding.
of my time on mining and trading issues. Other members of the team
I know he's not a
Love to
developer.
dogfight. Some people love
Probably hears
to
me complaining
do
about it.
FPS combat or missions or bounty hunt. It's all over the place.
So we have a great spread and we kind of get to have fun doing what we are excited to do.
Beautiful, look at that.
I think the main thing that I would want backers to know about our job and what our team does
Yeah,
is
call
that
again.
we're listening to your feedback.
Our team itself is actually quite full of backers.
It kind of helps me put myself in their shoes rather than just look at the data and make a decision based off that data and not necessarily gameplay.
You know, a joke made on the team a lot is that it's easier to learn QA than it is to learn Star Citizen. So, you know, I already had my pet peeve bugs I wanted fixed. I already knew how the issue council worked.
I think it's important players do know that we see the issue.
Sorry, I don't know if I was covering someone there. I want to give them all credit. Good old Nathan down there on the bottom too.
Knew how the issue council worked.
I think it's important players do know that we see the issues, we see the issue council. We have some automated systems, and sometimes your issue council might say not a bug, but we are tracking it and we are aware of it. We go back manually and open them up when we see
so,
that.
I mean, if that's the case, that's something. If an automated system comes back and says it's not a bug, maybe get rid of that, right? If it seems like this video is in response to the community getting frustrated about things, maybe so the issue cancel by the sounds of it, you know, because I hear a lot on Twitter and all these different places about, you know, the issue cancel and this type of thing where it comes back as not a bug. Maybe get rid of that automated bot then, right? That may fix the issue of, you know, members of the community getting upset that it's coming back saying not a bug when it clearly is. Just get rid of the bot, right? Why have a bot if it's wrong? Just get rid of it.
That happen, and we do want to address it and get it into the hands of the developers.
No, I'm not the reason your ship got nerfed.
Might be actually responsible for that a little bit. Don't put that in there, please. I know the Ares Ion has been brought up before.
Whenever we're looking to make changes to ships,
It's a very much involved process with a lot of decision makers.
We translate the concerns that players have and bring those into the developers' eyes.
So in essence, we're just the messengers.
It wasn't me. It wasn't me.
If there's one thing I want everyone to know is we're all very much passionate about how this project is run because we absolutely believe and love the project.
Being able to interact with a very dedicated community definitely allows us to gain a lot of insight into what the game should be and what the community envisioned the game to be.
In the end, they're the ones who are really supporting the game, and they're the ones who are playing the game, and we're making a game for people to play it and have fun. And I think that's the most important part of it.
People are at the heart of the Star Citizen experience, both from you outside and those within. And in the case of the player experience team, often the same folks transitioning from one to the other. And up next, it's time for another sprint report, so let's get to it.
So first of all, I wanted to say, I'm glad they have that team in place, right? I think it's important to have a bridge between, or a direct bridge between the community and the developer. Well, obviously it's not direct because that's what these guys are for, right? So having people on the inside that can talk to and listen to all the feedback and play it themselves and see what these issues are, and then go to the developers directly, which we can't do, and then be like, okay, these are the issues that people have had. This is what I've been able to mimic. These are the ones that are just people complaining because they're not good at dogfighting. And these are the ones that are people are good, and these are real bugs. You know what I mean? I'm sure they get a lot of people that just, I'm so mad at this. It happens in every game. So they're the filter. So I'm glad they have a team like that. It's important, I think, in any business to have a team like that. Whether, you know, I don't know, whether it's in sales. Let's say you work in a retail job, right? And you have a sales team, and then you have, you know, management or store manager or something. It's important to have the assistants in the middle that can be the bridge between the two. But yeah, I'm glad they have a team like this. It was good. It was nice to see them.
Let's start things off with these new docking areas being created for our high-tech space stations like August Dunlow found in orbit above the planet Crusader. Now, while docking came online a little while ago, several space stations and their respective archetypes still needed this work to enable docking at all the stations of the Stanton system. Next up, let's check in with the Drake Corsair and these gray box images of the mess hall interior, which looks to take some of its cues from what you may already be familiar with from the Drake Caterpillar.
I was gonna say, it looks like a caterpillar.
There's also the cockpit where pilots spend most of their time, and an up-close look at the dashboard, and finally a look at perspective pilot visibility.
Doesn't look like a Drake, that visibility, does it? It looks more like a constellation.
We've also got these looks at the Drake Vulture, which is currently rounding out final art phase with some perspective liveries.
Awesome.
Let's go ahead and do one of those social media quizzes in the comments. Which one is your favorite? 1, 2, 3, or 4?
4's too medically. I think red should be reserved for medical. I think 1, I like 1 because it's...
Let's go ahead and do one of those social media quizzes.
I like the idea, like, you know, Cat.
Comments.
Company that makes,
which one is your favorite?
All these working trucks and thing, or like JCB and things like that, right? It's just like an industrial look to it, which I think it should be. Kind of like the mole. I think I like it best in orange.
2.
This one, it's not bad. I like the orange details on it. It's kind of industrial.
3.
This one I like a lot. Not for the purpose of the ship, but I just like this white and grey and black. I think it looks pretty cool. I mean, I don't know why they show us anyways. This is just going to be the base color, because you know they're going to bring all of them out as skins. So who cares?
Or 4.
But that one, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people that like it. But, you know, like I say, I think like medical ships should just be red.
And from brand new ships to those that have seen better days, let's take another look at the continuing development of our upcoming Reclaimer derelicts.
I can't wait for these, you know. Like I say, for the rare loot and stuff. Because there's going to be gameplay around them because of the rare loot. Like exclusive loot that you can only find inside of these. Or just inside of loot boxes. Not loot boxes. Inside of like, are they loot boxes? But not like pay, I don't know what I'm saying. You know what I mean. Inside of the chests. Why am I blanking? There's going to be exclusive loot and stuff in them. So there's going to be a lot of people coming down. There may be some competition. There may be some gunfights. It looks like this thing right here is a person. So you can see the scale of it. Maybe.
Now, as part of the work our Montreal team is doing, most derelicts will fall into one of 3 categories. Old, new, and inhabited.
Wait, what was that? Sorry, my bad.
Derelicts. Now, as part of the work our Montreal team is doing, most derelicts will fall into one of 3 categories: old, new, and inhabited. And as part of those inhabited, you can see here preliminary work on housing modules to be found both outside and within the wreckage itself.
I like that.
Tech is also being developed to allow the overall object container that contains the derelict within to pick up biome information from wherever it's dynamically spawned. That means if it's spawned in snow, it gets snow covering, or in this case, ivy and a variety of plant growth. The team is also building up a new library of derelict shaders for various states of decomposition, and when all this is brought together, it'll mean a...
That looks sick. Doesn't that look cool? I like, you know, the rusted, like mossy look to it. Right? Being in, like you were saying, being in this type of environment where it's rich in nutrients and grass and foliage and trees. Having like the moss, the rusty moss, looks sick. It looks like a lot of fun. And by that I mean, you know, exploring it. What's this little thing down here though? No, I like this. They just need to make it so, right, so you can scan for it. Because otherwise, how the hell are we going to find these things? Because we know Microtech is massive. But maybe that would make it cool if you stumble across one. I don't know.
A greater variety of points of interest for you to discover, and new mission areas spawned once you accept the job.
I like that. I like how where it's crashed, it's like broken down the trees. I think that's what they're going for. That would be cool. So you can see snapped trees where it's skidded on in. No, this is sick. Oh, I like the people as well. for size reference. Move my camera so you can see down there. That looks cool.
All dynamically placed and dressed as needed. And before we move on, a short video look at the interior habitable spaces currently being fleshed out.
This looks pretty complete. Oh, I like it. The thing with it is it's going to be a point of exploration, right? For you to go to and not just look around and think, wow, this is cool, but to find cool loot inside of it, right? It's going to have a lot of loot, weapons, ammo, stuff like that. I don't think salvage ships would be able to salvage them, obviously. That's not something that I think they're going for, which I'm totally fine with, by the way. But it would be cool, like, if you could set... I think it would be cool if you could set spawn points in these things. But maybe it wouldn't make sense. Because you wouldn't be able to claim ships from here. You wouldn't be able to do stuff like that. But, you know, just how with the Pioneer, you're going to be able to build your own, like, habitats. It'd be cool if you could explore the verse and turn one of these into your own place, right? You can set up shop here, set up camp here. This can be your little home. That would be sick. But I was going to say there's not enough of them because everyone would want one as a home, but I don't know. I don't know how it would work. I'm just trying to think realistically because I know this game tries being super realistic, right? And I think that would be a cool thing. But I know that's way down the line. I'm just using my imagination here.
And then lastly, let's take a look at current VFX progress on the handheld salvage beam we discussed on last week's Star Citizen Live with Mike Snowden.
So what's the point in this?
Now, while it's important to state that this effect you're seeing here is not final, repeat, not final, and this is a showcase only of the VFX involved, I hope we can all agree, this is still really cool as heck.
It is cool.
I mean, just look at this thing. The way the particles are being atomized and sucked up off the hull of the ship. I'm gonna tell you,
is that what it's
just
doing? It's
kind of
sucking it
sat
into
and watched
your
this
goal?
on loop for about 5 minutes straight and was thoroughly mesmerized. In
It is
fact,
sick.
Amanda, let's change up the music and just let this play out for a bit. Really get our zen on. I said get our zen on. You're messing with me. There we go.
What are they doing? I kind of don't understand this. So, have I missed something here?
Of course, we'll learn more about salvage, ship-based and hand.
So I know it's salvaged, but what's the point? Like, with a ship salvaging a ship, that makes sense. But what am I going to do with my little pistol? This is like something from Men in Black, you know, that little gun that does a lot of, like... What is my little pistol going to salvage? I'm going to get a pocket worth of... I don't get it. I've missed something, clearly.
Handheld next quarter ahead of its much-anticipated introduction to the persistent universe.
Is it like mining? Then you need a backpack to put this stuff into it, but it seems like the difference... I don't know.
So what did we learn this week? Well, we learned that it takes quite a bit to keep up with the massive amount of feedback the players provide. And then it's all hands on deck with the developers, the community team, the player relations team, and more to do it. And I'm gonna name drop the customer service team and the concierge team because they deserve a shout out too. That derelicts are shaping up to...
So my experience with the concierge team is not negative. I haven't had negative feedback, but I've mentioned this before. Like, I'll message them about something, and I won't get a response until, like, 3-4 months later. Like, I can't imagine there's that many people writing to them, right? It's not that big of a community. But yeah, I'll get messages back, like, months and months later. And then I'll respond to they're finally responded to, so I'll respond again, and I won't hear back again for, like, 3 months. So... And I know I'm not the only one that deals with that, but yeah, I don't know if they need to hire more to be able to keep up with the amount of people, or if they just need to balance it better, like do a better job of managing it so that they can not take 3 months to respond to a message. You'd think because it's concierge too. Not everyone has the concierge thing, right? I don't know.
To bring new gameplay opportunities through old and busted spaceships. And that the day when we can leave messages for others in the hull of abandoned spacecraft using the handheld salvage gun are close at hand. What will you write first?
That'll happen.
For Inside Star Citizen, I'm Jared Huckabee. We'll see you all next week.
See y'all next week, Jerd. All right, that was nice. It was nice to see the player experience team. It's not what I thought was going to happen in this video. Obviously, I thought player experience meant they were going to showcase some, you know, quality of life adjustments or something like that. But I'm fine with what they did, right? So yeah, it was cool to see them. It's cool to see a little bit of an update on the derelict ships as well, and that salvage gun I don't really understand too much, to be completely honest with you. So yeah, I'm hopeful, just like you guys are. The 317 will be coming sometime soon, so we can jump in. So a quick little update while I'm editing this video. Supposedly, according to Artful, our very own Artful, according to Star Citizen leaks, the PTU should be coming tomorrow in the PTU. And Star Citizen leaks are usually pretty accurate. And if you don't know Star Citizen leaks, I'm not just saying in general the leaks. It's a Discord. But yeah, so tomorrow, if it does come out tomorrow, I will stream it tomorrow. As soon as it goes live. So anyway, let's get back into this video. Okay, bye. I haven't jumped in a PTU for a long time, but I definitely will be jumping into the PTU with this game. I want to stream it. I want to stream all the new stuff and, you know, going searching for cool loot and obviously testing out trading as well. But I don't think it's not even, you know, they're not going to be fixing trading. But yeah, I'm excited to jump into 317 and check it out. I hope it comes soon. I hope it doesn't come when I'm on vacation, because that would suck. But it'd be good for you guys either way. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. I know it's funny because I'll post one of these Inside Star Citizen little recap videos I do, and people will be like, "Yeah, you're back," and then I'll be gone for a week, and then I'll come back again when the next one's out, and it's like, "Yeah, you're back." I'm so sorry. I just haven't, you know. There's always a dead zone between patches, right? There's always a dead zone of just lack of things to do. Obviously, in this game, you can create your own stories and own things to do. I've just kind of, I'm just waiting for 317, to be completely honest with you. I'm just waiting for something new and exciting to get into. And who knows, it's just something to bring me back, you know? Even once I come back, I may still do stuff, you know, just hang out and do races and stuff like that again. But yeah, I'm just waiting for 317, to be completely honest with you. And the other thing is, usually what I would do in between things, I would jump into a different game. But there just hasn't really been any games, to be completely honest with you, that I've been interested in playing either. So yeah, I've definitely been in just a rut, a creative rut. And it's frustrating. It really is. But it's unfortunately one of those things that it's very hard to shake yourself out of. Because it's just difficult, right? It's hard to explain, but yeah. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you soon with a brand new video. Bye.